In the month of May, I decided to draw every single day to see what the results would come from this. Now that it's over, I can finally share all the pieces from this time and tell you what has changed in my art. So to start with my digital art, I had accumulated 70 hours in those 31 days and made 8 finished pieces. What my goals were before doing this is to have more confidence in my line art, have better imagination by making new things, and finally to have a better variety of colors instead of just sticking to one color palette. My art a couple of months ago looked like this, which I still love some of my old pieces, but I do want to break down what I hated about all of this inconsistency of my art. I think these two pieces really depict what I'm talking about when it comes to I really struggled a lot with digital art when it came to color. And I think the reason why this is because I've always painted in real life. So instead I had really limited colors, and when I have so many colors it's so jarring, and I did not want to overflow the page with colors. But with that fear coming into mind, it made my artwork look so dull. This is the last piece I am going to talk about, and the reason why I put this one is because this was supposed to be an OC of mine, and it's so bland and it just has no depth of character. It has no good silhouette. This might shock you, but this was supposed to be kind of a spider princess, and so she was supposed to have powers with spiders, and she was supposed to look like an arachnid, but I did not give anything of that sort because I did not understand how to give depth to a character, because it was like I didn't have the brain capacity to mash up many different things into one object or one person. And that's what I was trying to do with this challenge, is to mash up different things I see on the internet or maybe see on Pinterest and to make them original to myself. And so that's one of the flaws I have in art, is that I'm really bad at being like creative. So this challenge was just to be more open-minded to do different things. It really irked me that it would take me so many hours to just think of a concept, and it was just nothing. It was just bland. And in this month, I accumulated so many different drawings and different types of things without having to think about it too hard, and that's what I wanted. The first drawing I made ended in April, but I did want to put it here as it was what gave me the idea to do this challenge. I normally have a hard time doodling on a digital page since it feels too clean, so I was trying to push myself to try to doodle different things, especially since I do want to make cute stickers, and the best way to start is to practice what I want to do. I drew things that I was super comfortable with since I didn't want to scare myself out of motivation to doodle on the whole page. The reason I decided to draw in this big ass 16 by 9 is it feels like when I sketch on a sketchbook paper, and also this had forced me to fit in as many things in the page, which gave me new ideas since I couldn't stick to one pose or item to draw. This is the first finished piece of the month of May, and this one scared me more because I feared that I wouldn't be able to draw like the other one again. But this one truly lit a spark in me because I realized that it's fun. In this one, I was trying to attempt to make different color palettes instead of just sticking to pink. I usually stick to a lot of pinks, yellows, and blues, really baby blues and pastel colors. So I was trying to steer away from that, and I think this is when I started stepping in the right direction of what I wanted to do with my goals. I feel like in this one you can totally see myself working my way up from being more confident with coloring. Not gonna lie, this is one of my favorite pieces out of the 8 that I finished in this month, and it's because this is the kind of aesthetic I want to keep for my artwork. This is when I started to get really confident about finishing the pieces and also making little tiny doodles that would fit into the little crevices, and so there was so much more hours put into it. The other pieces that I showed only took me around 5 hours of the doodles, and then this one took me around 8 hours. Even though it took me a lot more time to finish the doodles, it's really when I started to settle in that I really do love art and I really enjoy drawing like this, and so there was just a lot more endearment into this drawing since I've realized that I can be as creative as I want, and it kind of opened a lot more doors in my eyes. I feel like with this drawing I was kind of starting to lose motivation because I was losing my creativity since I was pushing my ideas so much, but little by little I was filling this page. It took me a lot longer than it was. It still made me happy that I could get out creative ideas without having to crash out and like not draw again. The next two are fan art, and the reason why I started to draw fan art is because I just started to have a lot of fun with doodling like this, and I really wanted to see what would happen if I would doodle characters that I really like. And so I started with My Little Pony because you do have to open up to thinking about how these characters would look like in their human form. And after that, I did go to One Piece because One Piece is one of my most favorite shows. I did put a poll down on my YouTube channel to ask if anyone liked One Piece. Sadly, not a lot of people voted yes that they love One Piece, and I'm really hoping that the new viewers that come into my YouTube channel are into One Piece because I will be drawing them a lot more in the future. But it was a really big learning experience to understand how to draw a character that's already been drawn. I'm normally drawing random things that I don't ever redraw again, and so this was a really fun experience, especially drawing men, because I never draw men at all. Like, you could see through my art, I'm usually focusing on women, and even if I draw men, usually they look more feminine. So I struggle a lot with that, and with the One Piece drawing, it really made me branch out a lot more than I'm normally accustomed to. This is just a random piece I made, and it was in the early part of the month, so you can see that the colors are still not there, but I did make this other piece, and this one was around the time that May was ending. So with that in mind, I did end up reaching my goals, and now my mind has a different mindset when it comes to art, in a good way. I did not focus too much on anatomy for this challenge, since I had been focusing on that for a full year. So I just wanted this challenge to focus on color, line art, and creativity, as those were more far behind than my anatomy. I can't believe how much my art has grown in a month of doing this, and I will keep going on for the months to come. Maybe I'll make one of drawing for a year straight to see the improvements that come with that. Also, if you guys want to see any of the speed paints of the art that you have seen in this video, I do have them all in separate videos in my channel. I do for sure see the improvement that needed to come so that I can take the next steps on making sellable art. But anyways, thank you guys for watching through to the end. I am starting to see a lot of returning viewers, which makes me happy. I see y'all supporting me, and just know I cherish you for that.